Google has just released the best AI development environment on the entire market. It has totally blown me away, and I really think it is the cursor killer. In this video, I'll go over what anti-gravity is, show you how to build your first app on it with all the secret sauce on how it works, and tell you why I think this is the best AI development environment you can use. Let's get into it. Straight off the rip, this is going to be awesome. If you want to follow along with me, go to antigravity.google.com, download this for free. My favorite part about all of this is the pricing is unbelievable. Let's see here. Let's see how this pricing is. $0 a month, and you can't even pay money for it if you wanted to. $0 a month. There is no reason for you not downloading this right now. The number one complaint I get about everything, Cursor, Replit, Claude, everything is it's too expensive. I don't understand how the limits work. Here's how the limits work for Google Antigravity. There are none. Download it. With that out of the way, here it is. Here is Google Antigravity. What you're looking at right now probably looks pretty familiar, and that's because you are looking at basically the VS Code fork section of Antigravity. This is basically what every other AI development environment on planet Earth looks like. But there's a little tiny button up here. There's a little tiny button up here in the top right called Open Agent Manager. This is the part that blows me away. This is the part why I think Google might win this race. Let's click that and open it up, and I'll show you why this is absolutely blowing my mind. So I click Open Agent Manager. When you do that, this is what you get. And this is where I think the end game is for anti-gravity. And the reason why I think this is the end game is this is where everyone's going to spend 99% of their time, in my opinion. Here's where you will not only interact with your agents and tell them what you want to build. So if you have an idea for an app, you come in here, hey, build this out for me. Builds it out for you, but you actually are able to manage all of your agents in one place. If you're anything like me, you literally have 1,400 different instances of VS Code or Cursor open up at once for all your different projects you're working on. You no longer need to do that. In a genius move that I actually really love here, you manage all your workspaces in one place, right? So you can see a few different things I'm working on here at once. I'm working on an AI agent, a 24/7 AI agent. I click on that, I can see where we are, I can see what we've built out, and I can give my next commands. Then I can go over and I can see the app store I'm working on. Click on that, give my next commands. Then I can go over here and I can see the game we're about to build out. So instead of the old paradigm of building out AI apps, which is you open up 100 instances of Cursor or whatever at once and you manage them all side by side and it's an absolute mess, you now have basically like this email inbox, which is where all your agents are working, building out all your different projects at once, and you can easily manage them from one place. This is just a new way of developing that I can't believe no one else has thought of yet. But there's more. If you're anything like me, you're coming up with 100 ideas a day. Ever since I got into AI coding, my brain's just been thinking in ideas. Idea here, idea there. And I'm constantly coming up with new things to build, like I have ADHD. Well, that's where the playground comes in. So this is another brand new feature built out by Google, the playground, which is where you can come in here, you can spin up a new playground with that plus button without having to spin up new projects or folders or adding a bunch of bloat to your hard drive. And if you're anything like me, literally 90% of your hard drive is built out of AI projects I started but never finished. We now have this playground where you don't need to create new folders, any new projects. You come up with an idea, you create a new playground, you put it in, you hit enter, and it builds out the app. And if you think, okay, I like the way this looks, I like the way this looks in the playground, you can quickly spin it up into its own workspace and it creates the folder and creates the project for you so you can ship it and let other people use it. I love this. They built this with tinkerers in mind. They built this with multitasking in mind. They built this with the true vibe coder like me and you in mind, and that's why I really like it. This is the major difference between anti-gravity and every other tool. It really feels like it's truly achieving that vision of being an AI agent manager rather than a VS Code fork with a bunch of AI functionality tacked on. This is really cool. So let's build out an app. I'm going to show you my workflow with Google Antigravity. Feel free to follow along, pop it open, sign up for it. You have to just log in with your Google account and we're going to start building. So I'm going to start off this build with a prompt from Danny Limanceda, Apologies if I pronounced the name wrong. I came across this post on X, which is a game he built out with Gemini 3, which is this really cool voxel medieval hack and slash game. It looks so sick. I asked him what his prompt was, and he gave me his beginning prompt. Very simple. So let's start off with this and let's build on top of an anti-gravity. And I'll show you how it works. I'll show you the workflow, and I'll show you how to get the most out of Google's new tool. So I'll take that prompt. I put it down below. Feel free to steal it. Put it in your own anti-gravity. We're going to do this. So let's start off with what I think your standard workflow should be. So you come up with an idea. Okay, I want to build this 3D medieval hack and slash game. I'm not sure if I'm going to follow up on it. Let's just see how this looks. So we're going to spin up a new playground. And again, we're doing this playground because this is kind of a place to experiment in. I don't know if this idea is good. Let's just see how it turns out. And then if I like it, we can spin it into a full workspace with all the code and files and all that. So I'm going to put in the prompt, create a Heroes of Might. I'm thinking misspelled might there. Create a Heroes of Might and Magic game. For any nerds in their 30s here, I'm sure you played Might and Magic when you were younger. Might and Magic game in threeJS in voxel style. Before creating it, write up a game design document first. So I think this piece here, write up a game design document first, is the key part here. So for those who haven't played with it yet, Gemini 3 Pro is a Ferrari. You can one-shot absolutely spectacular things with this model. It is probably the best one-shot model of all time. If you missed my live stream from earlier in the week, I ran my benchmarks on it. It got the highest benchmark of any one-shot model I've ever used by far. The key is you need to use it properly. You can't just drive a manual Ferrari. If you don't know how to drive manual, it's going to drive like crap. So you need to know how to drive your Ferrari. And the way you do that is by using complex instructions and prompts. But here's the thing, a way to short circuit those complex prompts and instructions is to have it write game design documents, or in your case, if you're not writing game, regular design documents. And what it's going to force this extremely powerful model to do, Gemini 3 Pro, is actually think outside the box, think in detail, and create a very detailed design document that it will follow. So this is something you want to do anytime you're going to build an advanced app out, is say, hey, by the way, before you start creating it, write up a design document first. The other reason you want to do this, and this is key, is planning mode is actually not really a planning mode. Planning mode is just a take a long time mode. And what it actually does is it writes code. Planning mode in Claude Code or Cursor, it just creates a plan and then you have to approve it. But the thing with planning mode in anti-gravity is it actually does the coding as well. So to get it to slow down and stop and build a plan first, we're going to do planning mode, but we're also going to say, before writing any code, create a design document first. So if you're following along with me, hit enter on this. I'm going to show you a bunch more cool tricks with anti-gravity. So now it is getting to work on this really nice layout here where it's creating its own to-do list, as is standard with most AI tools now. One thing I noticed as it works, it is capable of working for a very long time. Gemini 3 is an unbelievably smart and agentic model that can work for a long time. And it also is really fast too. As you can see there, it already created the game design document, and we're literally, does it have a timer here? No, but that had to be at most 9 seconds it did it in. So I click on the game design document. You can see it here. It has so much detail around the core gameplay loop, city management, combat tactical, all the tech behind it, the visual and audio style, the entire scope of the MVP, the user interface. This is really cool. So because I asked it to do that design document first, which is what, again, you should be doing for every complex app you build, it's going to ask me to approve it. I'm going to say proceed, and it is going to get to work for us. So here's a key part that kind of tripped me up at first. There's going to be points here where it needs to run commands in the terminal. If you get to that point, and it's waiting on you to do something for the terminal, all you need to do is click this toggle terminal button up here and allow you to toggle the terminal. You also have a lot of other cool things going on in this interface as well. You can open the editor if you want that classic IDE experience where you want to look at code. You can go back to your classic experience there. You have a follow the agent mode where it'll actually open up this window and you can see step by step everything the agent does. So it's trying to run terminal commands. I can hit accept there. And it also has a built-in browser. So just like Cursor Cursor's new feature with the built-in browser. It has Chrome built in. And I'll tell you this, it is a step above what Cursor was doing in the browser, because now it can actually do its own testing automatically without you having to do anything, without approvals. It just pops open Chrome browser and starts testing it for you. So it's literally an agent that's spinning up multiple agents under it to build and test your application out. And then you have this, the move your work into a folder. So once you're done, and this is still building out, you are able to move this into a full project if you want, out of the playground into the full project. I am really impressed with the speed of Google Antigravity here. One issue and challenge I'm having with Codex lately is it's a little slow for my taste. Claude Code, always been kind of slow, but it seems like it's been worth the slowness with the really nice results you get. Composer 1 and Cursor, extremely fast. It doesn't appear the results are quite as good as Claude Code and Codex, though. This is a nice, juicy center where it is still pretty speedy, and you get very, very good results. Gemini 3, mind-blowing. So as you can see, it did a bunch of testing on its own. It found errors. It's fixing its own errors. We haven't had to do a single thing so far other than accept a couple terminal commands. And as this goes, you can kind of imagine what this new workflow is like, right? This is now, instead of having 20 windows open, 20 IDEs, I have this one agent manager. I can minimize this. It gets to work. If I think of other ideas I want to come up with, I can quickly open up the sidebar, create a new playground, spin up a second app that starts going, and then come back here to this original playground I'm working on. In fact, let's demonstrate that workflow. So while our 3D voxel Might and Magic game's being built, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to keep working on my 24/7 agent. So I just had to build out a new feature. It looks like it needs me to just test it. I can now go and test this out. I can now test it, give it another command. So, hey, can you build out the new settings feature? Hit enter on that. That sends the command off to start working on the next feature in my AI agent builder. Boom, I come back here to my 3D game. And now you can kind of see how you can manage multiple agents all in one window without having to have 20 different IDEs open at once. This is truly, I think, the next level of AI coding. All right, looks like it is done. That ran for probably about 10 minutes there, which is pretty good. To test the game, run npm run dev in your terminal, open the displayed localhost URL. All right, what is this? Walkthrough, guide on how to run and play. What is this? Is this? Oh, it built me an entire document on how to test this out. I love that. All right, so navigate to the product directory. Okay, so we just need to do npm run dev. Let's do this. I'm going to open the terminal. All right, let's pull this open here to see what we got. Okay, this is looking cool. So that's where I am. That's the hero. I can move the map around so I can see all the different voxels and space I can move. I can move around by clicking on specific places. Oh, there I go. Let's see if I can collect this resource here. All right, looks like I can only move a certain amount of spaces per turn. I can end my turn. Now the enemies can move around. Is this the most in-depth game ever? No, but that was one single prompt that we one-shotted a 3D voxel. Now we can go back and we can keep giving it commands of what we want to build out. Now we can add like an attack if we want. Now we can make real-time combat if we want. I can keep giving commands to the agent through here, and then maybe I go back and I keep working on my AI agent I'm building out. Then I go over and work on my app store that I'm working on. And it's all done through one single window rather than 100 IDs at one time like you're probably used to at the moment. Here's also why I'm kind of convinced Google's going to win this race too, at least the IDE race specifically. One, they can control the margins. Again, the biggest complaint you get with like the Cursors of the world or the other IDEs like AMP is the pricing doesn't make sense. It gets too expensive. You don't understand the limits. That doesn't really matter with Google because they can control the margins because they control the model. Cursor and AMP and the other AI IDEs, they have to pay Anthropic and Google for all their models, so they can't control their margins. Google can control them. And the best part is, and this is probably the biggest point out of all of them, is Google has infinite money. They are the most profitable company in the entire world. I think they have over $100 billion on hand, and they make like $20-30 billion in profit a year. They have literally infinite money. And because of that, they can give this away for free. They can give it away for free to everyone. It's completely free right now. You couldn't pay Google for this if you wanted to. And they are able to do this for a very long time because they have so much money on hand. Basically, every other company in the AI space is losing money faster than you can possibly imagine. Google is the only one that is not only not losing money, they're actually making more money than any other company in the entire world. They have complete control of the model, so they can quickly go back in, go into Gemini 3, improve it, change it, tinker with it if they want. Cursor really doesn't have that power other than with Composer 1. But even then, between you and me, I think it was a Chinese model that they just built on top of, so they don't have really complete control. And they also can tie anti-gravity into the entire ecosystem. Imagine this. What if they tie anti-gravity into the Gemini agent inside your Android phone? And you can quickly say, hey, Gemini, build me out this new app I just thought of to your phone, and it builds it out. What if they tie it into your Google Home Assistant, where you're just sitting at your desk and go, oh, this is actually an interesting idea. Hey, Home, build this out for me. And it just starts building it out on your computer. That is a really powerful advantage Google has that we haven't seen from any company yet, and they really haven't capitalized on. Is think about what happens when they start tying AI coding into every device you have around your house. That is extremely powerful, and that is why at the end of the day, I think it's going to be really, really hard for any company to beat Google at their own game, which is software. I am wildly impressed. It isn't all roses and sunshine, though. I am hearing from a good amount of people they're running into errors and bugs. I ran into a couple bugs on apps I was building out with anti-gravity where it would just crash and say, hey, we can't do anything anymore, sorry. And I had to spin up a new window, but that was on launch day. We're now a few days in, and I really haven't ran into any issues. It's completely free. You have no excuse not to try it. Try out the workflow I just showed you. Spin up playgrounds as ideas come to you. I really think that's the key to getting the most out of anti-gravity right now. Is anytime any idea comes to your head, spin up a playground. Keep your AI agent manager window up on your desktop at all times. Keep it to the side. As ideas come to you, spin up new playgrounds, build out those ideas as they come, move them over to workspaces as they become fully fleshed out ideas. I think you're going to be more productive with AI coding than you ever have before. And the best part about all of this is the worst this app will ever be. It's only getting better from here. And Gemini 3 Pro only getting better as well. It is the most exciting time to be in tech ever. Leave a like if you learned anything at all in this video. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications. All I do is create unbelievable videos about AI and vibe coding. We are now the #1 vibe coding channel on all of YouTube, so make sure to subscribe to our noties. I live stream 3 times a week as well, where I test out these apps in real time. We got a bunch of fun live streams coming up over the next few weeks, so make sure I have notifications on for that, and I will see you in the next video.